It's the Pigeon Talk podcast with your host, Yisroel Mayer and Suki from the RCCS Hockey Classic.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Pigeon Talk podcast. Back to our, the vendor deep dive to find out what the term is really about. This is episode.
Gave it away. Why give away the secret? Even before we start.
Whatever. It's like what you do with all the challenges with the captains. Like, let's do right.
Never.
Let's do.
Never.
I don't know all the challenges, but somehow every captain knows exactly when the challenges are starting and ending.
Look, I'm indebted to the captains. It's on a need-to-know basis.
I hear that. Again, I don't have to order anything as long as the captains know when it's happening. Okay. All right. Well, welcome back. It's been a heck of a week.
Yeah, it's been a good week.
Yeah, what do we have? We had a couple exhibition games. I had one with the Kraken. You had one with
An American Dream.
Country
We had
Guys.
Guys from the Colts. So we had guys from the Colts.
Started at 7:15, right?
Yeah, that's not funny. First, Colts as an NBL braved the winter storm to come out, and it was a great game. It really was.
I'm just pointing out, I don't do with hockey, but hockey snowstorms used to be so much better when we were kids.
Yeah.
You would get 12 inches, 14 inches, one day school. That's like big storm coming, 5 inches. School starts on time. Just
okay. I'm sure this is something we could discuss offline. Anyway, so the game,
they braved the storm.
they braved the storm,
Yeah.
and the game was great. It was a tie game after regulation.
Oh, really?
The
First time we had that in an exhibition game.
We had a tie game. Ref wanted to do shootout. I'm like, no, these guys did not just.
Was it Javi Lax's guy?
No,
Oh.
it's just somebody else.
Okay.
And we did a 3-on-3.
Nice.
3 minute, and about 15 seconds in, Max Nussbaum got the puck, and sorry, Yaakov Cohen, but they walked away the victors. So it was a great game. Really, I'm
Who
sure.
was the other goalie?
What?
Who was the other goalie?
Josh Gormley from Baby Sharks, and I'm sure
The New York plates. Highlights. The New York highlights.
New York, yeah. And I'm sure you
That's a
can
great
attest when you went out to the Kraken. It's just fun, guys.
a lot
Love
of fun.
coming out. It's always a good time. Connecting, eating chicken. It's a good time.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. The Kraken game was great. We had the full Kraken team. We had 3 guys jump over to the other team, which was made up of some Hitmen, which is the new team in Lakewood, and then a couple Avs players, myself. Great game. It was a great game. Ellie Singer was a goalie, and then obviously Woody. But overall, it was a really nice time. And I've noticed a lot of captains are actually creating a bunch of scrimmages against people in their division, which is more, I think, than any other year. I know that the Hitmen are going to be traveling up to Muncie. They have 3 games already scheduled, which is pretty cool. Kraken, I think, wants to make it out to meet the Isotopes.
Right, the Brooklyn.
So, there's some games and also Egos they want to hit. So, it's pretty cool.
Can we give a shout out before we forget, because I probably will. Can we give a shout out to the Pigeons?
For winning the locker room challenge.
Yeah, who won the locker room challenges. Over 180 plus donations. Fantastic. Team Perry, first year team, new captains, but a lot of Byler guys. So they remember the good old days between the battles between the Pigeons and Team Byler, and they came in second. And listen, look, obviously the real winners are the basins of RCCS with the money that is raised during the challenge.
It's true. I'm very tempted to go down to Iceland and literally make every single locker room into an upgraded locker room. Just like spend 2 weeks there, bring down all the plywood and everything, just build a bunch of cubbies. Because
Yeah, I'm sure John and Jim would be very.
I would go 50-50 with them, right? Like, let them cover the cost of the materials, and I'll get some thank you HM construction or something here in Lakewood to go there.
But I think the challenge also really is a space thing for a lot
I know,
of
but I
guys.
think it'll work. I think it'll work. Yeah. I think it'll
All
work.
right.
A lot of teams only have 16 players. You have Generations and Kraken, and these teams have a lot. But
Okay.
But I think they'll make it up. Anyway,
Anyways,
yeah. So another thing
we
that's
just
happening
launched today.
Yeah.
We just launched today the new challenge, massage therapist. In the past, we've had some challenges are teams going against each other. Here, every team can win it. Really, no excuse. Just got to raise $18,000 over the week, and everybody
That
gets
should be doable.
massage sports therapists for guys who need their hamstrings pulled and whatever else is done. I would love to award 27 teams. I'd love to. It'd be really
Yeah, listen, it would definitely be great for the organization. It would be a big money dump. It would also, everybody could use it. So listen, on the tech end, we've been rocking the jerseys. It's almost complete. And also, we've been talking food. And when we talk food, we always think about Tessler Catering, which is...
That's right.
I think they've been working with RCCS for something like over 10 years. But we'll ask. We'll find out exactly when. But, in studio today, we have the executive chef, CEO, party planner,
extraordinaire Tessler, and my neighbor, by the way.
Yes, and my neighbor also, before I moved out of Jansen.
That's
okay, so you might have to drop it down a bit. Daniel, you'll let them know what it looks like in the frame.
the shot, yeah.
Yeah, it's not blocking. No, it is. Okay, so hold on.
I'm not touching it.
Right.
I'll probably just mess up whatever I touch, so I'm good.
Okay. So it's like services. But it feels good to be service like this. It's like
Appreciation for all the service that you get there.
So, Menachem, thank you for joining.
Andre.
Let's give most guys just assume that the caterers, they show up Sunday, they start breakfast at 7 a.m. But let's give the guys a little bit of a background about Tessler Catering, and then
Let's talk about the relationships that Tessler Catering.
Okay.
And we can
start there.
Organization, and B, we're really like this is like the first event. Is it true, by the way? I think the first time you did an event was it true for Shalom?
It might have been
might-
as an event. As an event.
It was a sports
a
event.
question. That
It
was
was a
it was the first one. Me and you did the shoot for Shalom
Right.
in Menachem.
Well, so I think year one was somewhere in East Windsor. Remember
East Windsor, correct.
Remember we had I think that was the first time you brought out the smoothie machines.
Right.
That was the first introduction to Zakat. That's
how many years ago? How many years ago is this? 13 years ago, 2 years ago.
Well, a few black hairs ago.
Was Shia Muller playing in there?
Shiamala played in the term. He got the championship. He got it.
Nice.
I think even
When-
Gators might have played.
Yeah.
No, year two.
Year two was you played.
You remember that?
Yes.
There's you, him. How many games did you win that year?
Yeah, I think 1-0, 0 games, 6-0. I was very distracted. I couldn't do both.
When Raintree was young.
When Rachel was
Oh
young.
my gosh, there was a time.
That is going back a while. Yeah, but as a thing, I think even with RCCS, it's definitely going back, I would say, about the same time, 12 to 13 years ago for sure. It was really, in a funny way, that's why we have this relationship. It was like the first organization to use my talents and use my things, and they saw something. I mean, it was probably before I even saw it in myself. And we ended up doing beautiful events and being creative, and just, Lakewood then was a sleepy town. It was, in those days, you was probably putting out a tray of kugel and a little sesame chicken or something. And RCCS was also pretty new to Lakewood, I think, at the time. I think they had, I don't even know if they had.
I think they were new. I think they were new. Yeah, they were new to the fundraising scene, but I think they had a bunch of patience.
No, that could be correct. Correct. The fundraising scene, and we just created different things, and we elevated the whole, just ideas of people having a good time, coming out to have a good time, and that led to a lot of other things. So we've definitely had this, especially like this relationship that we have by far with RCCS over anybody else.
So what people don't know is that in addition to the hockey tournament, you guys also run the Liquid Parlor meetings, large events, and some appreciation dinners we did in New York. But let's talk a little bit about the tournament, because I remember, I think the guys would actually appreciate knowing what happened year one. Because I think year one, when we were at, what was it, year one? It was year one, right? And something happened with the smoke. What happened?
You never heard this story?
I want to hear the story, because I wasn't there.
Oh, yeah, of course. Oh, my gosh, an ice house.
Man, wow.
So here's the thing. What was that? Year one of the tournament, let's just back up for a second. Year one of the tournament, we actually went with a different caterer. We had a different caterer year one. And when it came to year two, the organization recognized the beautiful relationship that we have with Menachem. And we figured that, you know what, Hakar Sartaiv is something that we believe in. And that's why we started that partnership. And then you awarded us by having the smoking. Oh, man. Yeah, please tell the story.
So the story,
Yeah, right there.
The story is, and this is actually I know that you guys know the Yossi is working for me now.
Yeah, so we'll do a quick shout out to Yossi Enzweig. There's, in addition to Menachem here, he's one guy.
Introduction to the Tessler Catering RCCS family, which basically it was something that we had gone down and we had spoken to. I don't remember whose name it was. Rob.
Yep.
Okay, so we had taken a gym, like there was a small unit of a thing where he said, okay, we're going to be able to cook out of that spot, and that he's going to turn off the fire alarm in that area, whatever, and. We got there. It was also, I think, everybody's first year. Like, I know, like, overnight, it's the trucking. Nobody had it down yet, the second year. It was a lot of, like, the night before, and it was just everybody coming, and we got there, and we unloaded everything.
Just understand, just into what you're saying. Remember, back then, we did the Motzei Shabbos Sunday. So Motzei Shabbos itself was an absolute mad rush. So everything was like flying. It comes Sunday morning, they're still putting out the swag. They're supposed to be out the night.
We had games on Motzei Shabbos. We had 400 games of pizza boxes, and the whole thing was. And
basically pre-Suki.
Pretty much, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But basically, the story went that we got there in the morning and we did our thing, and they said, "Okay, this is the room." And we had stuff lined up, food and things, and we just had a whole the way we were going to do it. And I think it's 9 o'clock in the morning, and we started to make eggs for the guys and things, and this alarm goes off. And he's like, "Are you kidding me? The fire department's going to be here." And we had like propane sitting outside because we were going to grill. We had everything like that. He said everything's okay. And lo and behold, he was right. The fire department, they walked in there. It was 15 guys, and literally we like, "What are you doing?" And things. It was like crazy. They shut us down. They're like, I even remember Aaron was like going. Everybody, we're all going nuts. I don't remember who was there. Going nuts. They're like, "What are you doing?"
I've tried to forget this story.
Right. So, and literally Yossi Enzo wasn't supposed to be there. My nephew knows him. Said, "I have a kid that whatever. Can he come? He just wants to do whatever."
So he wasn't working for you.
He wasn't working
just
for
a
me at the
volunteer.
time.
Okay.
And we basically we had lunch at 12 o'clock already. Mm-hmm. So we were going to make everything from scratch because I wanted to do the food fresh. I wanted it to be something special. It was like my first time. And we're like, it's 10 o'clock. We're shut down. We have nothing going on. And it was like crazy Satosh Maya. We had somebody in Muncie that used to work, and Yapchik had just opened up in Lakewood. And I knew him. He'd quit his job. He went back to Muncie. I called him up. If you know something, he said, "Oh, I just happened to have become manager to help somebody out for like 3 months in a facility. We don't open till like 5 o'clock, a restaurant. I'll give you the back of the house." And we sent like the trucks of food down there with the chef, and Yossi must have made 5 trips back and forth for months with food. It was epic. It was crazy.
And with or without a license, we'll never know. But he drove the truck.
Besides for bringing it up here, now that everybody knows the story, but that is the story. That is really the story. And Baruch Hashem,
And
we learned a lot from
it's a great, but by the way, about humble beginnings, because you're talking about that story, and it happens to be the one thing I remember most about that tournament was actually when Jerky Joy was also starting out. You remember that?
Yes.
So Jerky Joy and nobody, again, for a lot of the players, they've never been introduced to it. So we put it out upstairs, and the players only on, and the guys were just like eyes were dropping, like, what is it? And they could not.
New. A lot of this stuff was new then. The concept of having. Even the first year that you did it, even the first year that I did it, the concept wasn't like today.
No.
Meaning we had a couple of stations. Yeah, that's why we were able to pull it off God's bit. It would have been like what we do now.
This year crazy. Which we do have. We had our own issues in Iceland with some stuff over there with the kitchens and stuff, but now we do everything outside. So we have had our challenges, but I think it's something that I've learned from the event industry, and I was working in the event industry before RCCS with Project Inspire and Aish, and someone once told me, he said, it doesn't matter what's going on or what your plans were, as long as the guests don't know about it either.
Yeah.
Something could go terribly wrong, but it was something that you planned. The guests have no idea it's happening. So instead of making a whole big issue and going crazy and them noticing it, there's something wrong, running through the guest area, making noise, just go around. They don't have to know. This didn't work? It didn't work.
What you're saying is not only true, it's almost a fact. I mean, anybody that does events, there's like literally you could plan things, but it never to 100% degree. You always have to have that.
The term, what is it? basically man plans God last. And I was talking
Man plans God last.
Right.
that it's in any industry, it's literally it's the most prevalent when it
Absolutely.
comes to the event planning, catering. It's just like literally you're planning for 6 months, 7 months.
Right.
It's big event all of a sudden.
The first year that we were in
Iceland.
right here. No, where we not in the
Iceland.
Iceland. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, like you said, the kitchen. So what we had is they cleaned the thing, whatever, and all of a sudden there was like a fire on the stove. So it just like shut down the whole stovetop. Like, why? Because you had an old piece of something, whatever the faulty. Also had to move stuff out. It's definitely something like that.
So and even in the event itself, which I mean, it's been.
I mean, you remember the rain?
The rain, exactly. You remember
That was crazy.
And then the rain.
And what's just crazy about this, Tzvi Spitzer and Stellar Productions, right? Shuki, they brought this new. It was the first year we did this crazy lighting. I mean, we did the year before lighting also, but this year he brought in new machines and he brought a lighting panel, which he said that the panel itself, like the board, it was like $250,000 board. It was the first time he was using it, and it was just pouring. And then we realized a little hole, and it was the year we did those big umbrellas outside in the family area. We brought one inside a tent over the whole
unit.
I remember.
And he's just to make sure that the board doesn't get ruined. And in the meantime, we're all standing in 8 inches of water.
But
Everybody threw at Chewy.
And remember, things were shorting.
No, the fact that the game stayed until the end, and we were able to watch. The fact that that was crazy. Shout out to Yisroel Mayer.
If you remember this, you had the stage where you came in that door. You were servicing everything from that
door.
the back door next to the thing, and the stage was, let's say, in the middle, and he was sitting right off to the left of the
To the
door.
left with the white pipe and drink.
Do you remember what he was sitting on? He had turned over milk crates. He was literally trying to stand on milk crate, and the water was literally, like you said, it was
Getting out
5
there.
inches. Because the way he was tilted back there, it was crazy.
And by the way, shout out to Iceland because you deal with locations, right? You deal with hotels. They put an electric box outside their building that you said that nothing was shorting because everything was going off its own line and everything, which is outside. And it's used once a year, just for us. It's just like I understand the kitchen, but
No,
they're
that
like,
wasn't that. But I would say do whatever you want. By the way, by far, from like you said, we used the Jackson. Wherever you go for sports-related things, or you're doing big events in the city, they give. Like they mean it. I mean, it's not just for them. I really don't believe it's just for them, like a money thing. Like
they appreciate
They
it.
appreciate. They're involved. There are things they care about.
they're not just a venue.
Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think it's
It's true. Shout out to Jim and Jim John and the rest of the
personally.
You could tell. By the way, you were able to tell from year one.
Yeah.
Like that was also a big deal when you changed from there to like people that understand and want to be part of it that way. It was amazing.
But that's why
Even what to do with the parking lot, I don't think people realize that. But this is what I think we should discuss a little bit. Just the back end. You know, people come to, like you said, they come to breakfast is ready, this is ready. But what does it go? What is the back end of? So how many?
I mean, no one knows that on Friday morning last year, I was on the phone with you because one of the tents was literally flying away, and B&B came back down to reset. And like, no one, shout out to Daniel for reminding me about this, but like, no one knows like this. No one knows, you guys start on Thursday. Setup.
What?
Setup is on Thursday. You have a full crew there Thursday, Friday, Shabbos. They're staying in hotels. Much Shabbos is starting.
It's overnight.
Yeah, you guys are there throughout the night. And it's Sunday, Monday. So it's a 5-day event, really. It's a 2-day for the players. It's 5-day for the staff. I mean, how many staff members do you have?
So between staff, you talk about 45 to 50 people.
That's insane.
On site are involved because the way it's set up that we have multiple. Basically, it's really not just one.
No,
event.
for sure not. And it's not just one menu either. You could have the families is one menu. It's easier menu because it's it's the hot dogs and that. But that's one crew, one captain with one crew, and then you have the family, and then you have the player lunch upstairs, which is high end, which needs probably more than one captain. I don't know how many, whatever. And then your own. You have also chefs because we're doing live stations and waiters to clean up, right? Bussers, right? And then you have we had last year the VIP section, which is another whole menu by itself, which is downstairs. Another captain.
And then we have the locker rooms.
And the locker rooms, yeah. And then
we have
prepping for the
people
hotel.
going around with things, which is another thing. I think, by the way, we should post this year, but like maybe guys could come by. Like, I don't think people realize like the kitchen tent how big it's become.
Right.
It's huge. It's a 50 by 20 of just large.
I remember last year what you did was you had one tent was the storage tent, and the next one just had a line of ovens and just a table going down the middle for
knocking out the things. Yeah, we had. I think we had 5 or 6, these 4-foot grills.
Right.
Because really, what we try to do there, which is, credit to you in RCCS. I think the difference by us than we do. I don't know everybody else how to do it, but by us, there's really an emphasis on the food being absolutely fresh.
Yeah.
Right. There really has been. RCCS always has wanted that. Like Aaron, it's like, what I'm saying, like a food. Forget about.
There could be a salmon. There could be a full side of salmon that had 2 forkfuls taken out. But if it was there for 3 hours, it's fresh. It's 3 hours. Oh, it's cold. No, take it away. No,
I'm talking about even more than that. I'm talking about like when we do
on the spot.
We do the dinner, right? Any year that we did, and we did all these stations, right? Last year was something different. It's amazing. But in the year before that, we did the charcuterie. The stuff is not being made at 10 o'clock in the morning and put into like a warm box and stuff. We're making it at 2 o'clock. The dinner shift starts at 2, where everybody's all in, and that's why we send this humongous tent.
Which is also why the rain was so crazy, because you were bringing your food from the grill and trying to run through the rain and deliver fresh.
Then just to give them those, they were like, it was pouring. We were walking 40 feet in the rain just to bring in dishes and non-stop. We had a great game. You had a great game. The Ranger game then.
Yes. Yeah, that was 3 years ago. 2 years ago was the Panthers.
Yeah, because nobody was like, if you were inside, no one cared, which was amazing.
And this year we're back to playoff hockey again, so
hopefully we'll have a game.
But let's. I've been to other sporting events for Tzedakah. I've done volleyball, softball, and I know that you've taken care of some of those events as well. What stands out about RCCS compared to the other events is, I guess, one question. The other one is, do you ever implement stuff from the RCCS tournament at other events?
So I would say like this. I think I would go back and say overall, before we even what stands out RCCS period, I think, then almost any Tzedakah organization, I think now already a lot of these organizations are taking their cue from RCCS, is this idea of always being really, really careful with the money. I think this is something that anybody that deals with RCCS, and it's something that I appreciate. I think we all give so much more of ourselves, whether it's you and your thing and you and your thing. We really do, because we know everything is accounted for. Everything is, they want the best thing. They want it to be over that, but they really to really try to give that same dollar to another patient. They know they could do so much with the money.
It's I
think that's something that stood out to me, and that's why I have this affinity for RCCS almost over anything that I've done. But and I'm doing this for 15 years now. There just is a constant, whether it's the board and how things get approved. And sometimes you're pushing me too much a little bit. He knows exactly what I say. They'll sit me down with this. Okay, we just don't want to have a meeting with you. You know what I'm saying? And they'll start taking out every what is this? So fair enough, but you know where it's coming from, right? You know that it's really
legit.
What's interesting is we had a guy last week we interviewed here, also a Rentry guy. I saw Greenspan Epic Promo.
Right.
Asked the same question. The first thing he said was, "You guys careful about the money." So it's like it's not.
It's a constancy.
It's a constant because it's legit. It's real. So I think that's number. I think also, and this is a huge credit to you. I think the way.
And Robert Steyer.
Robert Steyer, in the sense, meaning the sports related constant new ideas and how to up it, I think that has come from RCCS hockey. I think a lot of the things that people see now is, okay, we've seen it, this is how it's done, how we do a family thing, how we give for the players, how we're giving. I think a lot of people would be surprised of how many other organizations are taking RCCS as concept and saying, okay, how do we do this amazing? So let's say if I do a softball tournament, what worked great by RCCS? The family carnival theme. Okay, let's do the family carnival thing.
Right.
Even the way it's laid out, how did it lay out the first year, because now we've been doing it for a while. So I think that a lot of that has to do with being very innovative.
Yeah. Right.
In family friends.
Shout out to Suki and to Steyer, to Vito.
Find amazing. So what I appreciate about Tessler Catering is that we'll come to you and say, okay, we have $1 million idea, right? And we'll sit down, we'll go through the idea, and you'll love it.
It doesn't come with less than $2 million. and then the budget for it is $20,000.
So we'll come with $1 million idea. We'll all like review it. Okay, it's amazing. That'll be like, okay, so Menachem, let's do it for $100,000.
Yeah, literally, I'll go every year.
But what's amazing is that you'd say, no problem, I can do it for 120, and you'll get it done. But the point is that we'll have that conversation, and it's like, so no, I agree with you. And I think that when there's this consistent theme across the board where we want to give our players the most epic tournament, but we're also super careful about the tzedakah that we raise, it kind of like, it becomes part of our vendor's vision also, no matter which vendor it is, because they see it's consistent. It's not just me trying to save $1. It's really, it's what the organization believes.
Right. What you just said, and I think this has been you for sure and Aaron for sure, and especially the idea of really basing it around the players is also something usually a lot of tzedakah organizations, like you said, it's very hard to split these two things where you're trying to raise so much money, but you then again also want to give the players their experience, a new experience every year. I don't think people realize how much you and Aaron you put in to coming up with something extremely creative every single year, whether it's the hockey nets in the bars and just hockey related and just like getting the Heisman Trophy, getting the trophies, all this stuff. It seems like okay, you walk in there and it's a museum. Oh, everything's there. But it really comes from this emphasis where ours focuses, and this is literally how our conversation starts every single year. Go ahead.
How can we up it?
Yeah. How are we making this something special?
We're creating
for the players.
You're creating a FOMO. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
You could have a softball tournament, you could have a volleyball, you could have a hockey tournament. That if there's yes, the hockey's amazing. Yes, the event's amazing. What's getting a guy to come back? Yes, defending the cup or just enjoying the event. There also is another element to that, which is we're creating a FOMO. I can't miss it. It's great. I can't miss it.
So I want to tell you, so in general, and just to your point, the brand that, and I want to say that, look, at the end of the lightning rod to our brand is this event, okay? So the creativity and the professionalism that which have a human made,
right.
So you guys together. So like we were having a conversation with people out in Canada. Now Canada, different country. We had our first tournament there last year. And so we're talking about trying to figure out there's a brand new rink opening up, trying to maybe partner with that rink. And the person we were talking to, he said your reputation precedes you. So the reputation of professionalism and innovation that you guys put together, we want to be associated with that event. That means it's not only the players anymore; it's other organizations, other institutions that want to grab on to what we've built. And frankly, almost all of it has to do with the player experience that you have a major hand in.
And I think it and what we do for a lot of this stuff is we'll bring in player, right? We send out a for the guys who don't think this is true, we send out a player survey at that.
We actually read it,
and we read it, but we don't just read it. We go through it line by line. We might not reach out to you about it, but we read it, we accept it, and we take it seriously.
I will confirm that because they will tell me one player said this was something, and then there was another guy who mentioned that, and that could have been better. And then the third guy mentioned this thing. Can you fix these three? Well, whatever it was. But no, I'm just saying, it's thing. I'll say also one other thing. Yeah. I think, like you said, a credit to you and a credit to you, Aaron. And I think there's a huge credit to the players here. Beyond anything that I do sports related, whether it's the softball tournament, and now we're doing the volley tournament, and now we're doing, which is what we're trying to. The players here live and breathe this thing, and everybody who comes in, because I bring the guys, and I remember Yossi talking about it, and we're like, these guys are nuts. The intensity, and
it's not sports.
It's religion. And
it's a cult.
Correct.
Not a religion, it's a cult.
But that point, I think now you have an ultimate experience where you're giving that to the players, plus they're bringing that energy and this buzz. Because from when it starts, the buzz in the place is nonstop for literally 2 days straight. It's just great.
I think the fact that we're able to create that year after year. That's the key.
Correct.
That's the key.
That's when you start the conversation.
And that's where the pressure starts.
Yeah.
So the pressure starts. And there's a lot of pressure to be able to figure it out. I guess to give you an example last year, right? So we didn't have the playoffs. We didn't have the epic game. We had the stage in the middle, which we're not going to do again because it just, there were certain elements that weren't great. But then we pulled this food bizarre, right? We pulled the food forward.
Bizarre, not bizarre.
It's not bizarre. It was bizarre thing. It was a bizarre bazaar. But we pulled in this food court, and
Guys were blown away.
And what's crazy is that
It's gonna be so hard. I have to go out. I don't know what was coming up. I was like,
Okay, I think we can have
detail there. The detail.
I think we could have the discussion offline, but it was such a success that I think everybody would just say don't touch it. Maybe add different vendors, but keep it because. And also to your point, by the way, is that everybody, I think what they all said was the food was so fresh.
Yeah,
it was right in front. It was so fresh.
it was nuts. I don't think I've ever done an event like that. I'll be honest. I don't think very few caterers have ever done that where it's literally you're serving 400 people and it is just fresh food.
Right.
Legit just fresh food. I mean, this guy's making it fresh on the Chinese guy, the pizza, the Smoky Joe. It was.
We had managers we had the managers we had people from.
You had a Masada, you had Mike's, you had Smoky Joe.
They wanted, you know what? It's funny, but I think you'd be surprised of how many people
want
to be associated with RCCS. First of all, like I said, it's something that, unfortunately, it's really something that also affects so many people. True. It really does. It's like one person.
Everybody knows someone.
Everybody knows somebody, and it's like you said. It's just there's so much needed, where every person wants to be able to feel like they're giving back, and they should be giving back. And just being associated. I don't think there was a single vendor that I brought up last year, and it's not like any of these people have ever done it. They've never done it. They've never come out.
Right.
Hamasada, Mike's. Doing the mics live, like it's like, what are you nuts? Like
the sushi place, putting it in the little containers. That's the thing. A little touch like that, you could have served it on a plate. So serve it in a container. It's made. Guys could bring it to their hotel. But
it happened kind of on its own. I think.
Yeah, but it was.
People were like, it's only no. By the way, I think anybody. There was out of the 40. I think I'm joking, but I think let's say 20 people even there. There's like they fill the plates and then the sushi was to go.
We have to remember also like people would just assume, okay, rib steaks. Guys are playing another 3 games a nice day. Having fresh shawarma, a little bit of a lighter food. It's more, it's a lighter sushi.
Went like
the sushi is great because there's carbs. There's carbs in the rice, and you get the and it's a lighter carb. Guys loved it.
By the way, even like what's his name? Now you're saying the lighter and just having the food. The nutritionist that brought on.
Yeah.
He was a huge. No, he's huge.
You don't know this. I'm working out with Yisroel. I keep calling him Levins. Yisroel Goldsons. I work out with him twice a week. We have a challenge going on that I have to lose 30 pounds before the tournament. I'm at 24 pounds. Got another 6 to go. So and we have an app for the tournament. Everybody could join the app. It's 5 minutes a night. These guys are doing that. But he's strength, core strengthening, but also to help get in shape. But he's standing there helping players. Players are asking, what should I eat? I'm cramping this, that, and he was there. And then the smoothie station.
That's where I was going with this.
Yeah,
He said it. The smoothie. I'm like, guys are eating. I know because the past season wasn't.
What happened year one? You have to buy another. Yeah,
we went literally because I thought, okay, let's X amount, whatever my numbers were for this thing, and we like even the budget. It was like, okay, just put in a little bit, just squeeze it in there.
Brother Costco has the powerful.
I think we literally went mid first day already.
Yeah,
had powered through it. Never the next day we had nonstop. But I actually hired a guy. We have a guy that's like he's an insane strength, like one of the wait staff, and he was so excited to do it because this is his thing. It's like I'll make the shakes. His name is Lester. It's like no, don't give it to nobody. This is mine.
That's awesome. So, it's really incredible what you guys do. I know that we're gonna have to start the conversations about the topic for next year. For this year. Mm-hmm. But I'll be honest. I just wanted to, before we go any further, I wanted to give a shout out to Taivi from Centra 6 because we come up with a vision, we come up with what we want to do, and then we sit with Taivi and it's like figure it out. You know what I mean?
I think
Can't
he
do the
just
same
no,
thing.
correct.
We tell them the same thing. Figure it out, but
Your budget is a quarter of
right, you know what I'm saying. And then, but again, it's again we're not cheap, right? But we're and it's not that we're saying okay, I need this, and we're only going to pay this. It's more this is what I'm able to pay for this. What can we include within that? I think that's really, the way it should be presented. It's like, okay, we have this amount to spend on this item. What can we get for that? Let's maximize this. It's all about maximizing. But what you said is true, and I wanna up. People say everybody knows someone with cancer, right? I think nowadays most people could say everybody knows 2 people or 3 people. It's not everybody knows 1 person. It's more than that, and I think what makes the people that partner with us feel the same way is that we're not doing the event for us. Right, it's for the patients, people that cannot get out of bed and say, "Hey, can you make an event for us?" So we're shluchim for the organization. We're shluchim for the we're shluchim. We could join the Pigeons team.
Well, by the way, I'll say something else because now you're touching a nerve with me. I think that almost every year, I mean, I'll apologize because I don't know the name, but when his father speaks, what's his name? Topper. I know it's like things, and then when you had that conversation, like via Zoom with the
Baby all the time.
I think people, it's like with the whole buzz and everything, and it's just all of a sudden there's silence.
Yeah.
And for that, like 5-10 minutes, because we want they want them to have a good time, and we want them to kind of forget a little bit, but it brings it home so much. I stand there and I'm like, you start like,
But you're a partner.
no, correct. I'm saying that's what gives me the same thing, like everybody else. You have to be a part of this. You have to be able to give back to this level that you do.
I think the best presentation we had, I think, was when that kid was there with his younger brother who donated the blood. That was you. That was epic. Yeah, so that was it.
Listen, I mean, look, last year to have with Avi, but to have Hesky Brucker and to have Manny Levy, who are players that are currently in the tournament, and they are current patients of the organization. It's.
I mean, so let's give you the players together with stuff. I don't know if you know this, but we tell all the players. We started hockey. It was like 1,200, 1,800 patients, 1,800 patients. We're over 5,500, and
there's a significant amount last year. I fell off my chair.
Yeah,
I remember that.
That's crazy.
He talking to me almost right before the tournament because we were like busy with the raising. How much of that? It was like, you want that? He's like, Menachem, I just wanted you to know the numbers.
Right.
And I'm like, are you?
But these are new. That's active this year, and we're averaging. And yes, people get taken out of the system. Baruch Hashem, a lot of people. With the cure that people get now. I mean, I spoke to the medical department, and someone at the medical department told me that the cure now, compared to even only 10 years ago,
Right.
2015, worlds of a difference. And the amount of people that are being taken out of our system because they got into remission, because they recover, is phenomenal. But at the same time, they're still averaging 40 new patients a week.
Right now,
45 new patients a week.
That right now, since we started, we're averaging over. I think it's the numbers like close to 60 patients.
Since we launched.
So
a week. New patients. A week. Which includes RCCS. It includes RCCS. Includes London, and but it's. I think we hit 35 states in the United States or more already by now, and it's just in New Hampshire. It's.
I just went I know it sucks up, but it just went to like a sobering conversation I can really have.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying
but it's important because I think, and I tell guys all the time, my line to them is when you're reaching out, no one is paying for you to play hockey.
Right.
You play hockey 2-3 times a week. You're part of your league. Nobody's paying for you to play.
Yeah, and the hockey
your
not done.
opportunity
The cost.
give back than to give to those who need it, and that's true.
And for those who ask, I'm gonna donate so that you can play. It's the event sponsored, right? It's sponsored. It's covered. Whatever you're raising now it's all going to the patients.
It's literally going to the patients.
And it's it's really, really incredible. I know that you don't do the Chicago tournament and the Florida and the Toronto tournament, but there are 4 other tournaments that we run now.
Right.
There's 4. I had 3 other. Well, listen, we have LA possible. Israel's pushing a lot. You even have Okay, so
I think it's just come down to probably logistics.
He's gonna be a consultant. He's gonna come as a consultant.
yeah, it's
But no, hey, Fair. Just the trip.
You just want us to cover the.
But you need guys just need to make sure that it runs properly. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's amazing because like we even found we have hockey players, friends, guys in the swag industry, in the
Right.
garment industry, and it's not just okay. Can I give you a donation? It's like here, I'm going to give you caps. I manufacture caps. I manufacture
Do people
joggers.
ever know that from you? Because I know this and be like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys, it's funny because some of the guys would be like, "Hey, why'd you get these sweatpants this year? Last year was a totally different brand." It's like, when do you change? Why do you pick this, that? And I'm like, it's sponsored. We're able to get sponsored. We get sponsored, and instead of paying $15 a jogger, right, and then having to take down, the level of something else in the tournament, it's we have these people that say, I'm going to donate 750 joggers. And
Shout out. Let's do some shout outs. So shout out on that. Shout out to Elliot DiGiamal, who procured these sweatpants. Shout out to our vendors in the past. For the caps, Aaron Cambasso and Hurley. Shout out to Moni Abadi, who will sponsor whatever article of clothing we ever need. Shout out to also bringing back Macadad this year. He was actually your first year. He did some clothing. And shout out also to Mo Bailey, who gets his clothing, hopefully from Joey Levy this year as well. Yeah, I mean, listen, people understand it.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a lot.
And it's a major savings for the organization.
And it allows you to have that experience now, get bigger and stuff like that. Add something, do something.
Some guys love your sweat.
I think the number one thing that you said is every year it's not only can we repeat, it's repeating is
It's almost unacceptable.
It's absolutely.
What can we do more?
unacceptable. It's but it's even changed. Like it's got to be different. It's got to be changed. It's got to be new. It's got to be fresh, as if it's a brand new year, and it's the first time we're ever doing it. So thank you. Thank you for helping and making it.
Maybe even welcome. Okay.
You need
Listen, looking forward.
do it again.
Yeah, we're looking forward. Thank you guys.